Lunar Outpost, a US-based space startup, specializes in advanced spacecraft and robotics solutions. They have secured contracts for 4 lunar missions, each involving different lunar rovers. In this video, we'll zero in on their most substantial lunar rover, which is engineered for transporting both heavy cargo and astronauts across the Moon's surface. The importance of these large lunar rovers cannot be overstated, especially for constructing and sustaining lunar habitats. Consider this: every piece of equipment that lands on the Moon via a lunar lander must be transported to its designated location by a rover. This includes human habitation modules, which can weigh up to 15 tons, along with mining and resource extraction equipment that might weigh up to 10 tons. Even items that are low in mass but bulky in size require rover transport. Lunar Dawn, a lunar terrain vehicle or LTV for astronauts and heavy equipment. NASA has tasked Lunar Outpost with the development of a high-capability rover for astronaut use during the Artemis missions. This LTV is engineered as a versatile off-road robotic transportation system suited for driving on the surfaces of the Moon, Mars and beyond. It's capable of transporting bulky and heavy equipment loads while at the same time accommodating 2 astronauts wearing bulky spacesuits. The LTV is designed to operate under the Moon's extreme environmental conditions, from enduring the frigid temperatures of lunar nights, which can dip to minus 173 degrees Celsius, that's minus 279 degrees Fahrenheit, to coping with the intense heat of lunar days, where temperatures can climb up to 127 degrees Celsius, that's 261 degrees Fahrenheit. This temperature swing poses a massive challenge due to the rapid heating and cooling rates caused by the Moon's lack of atmosphere. Without an atmosphere, there's no convection or significant conduction to aid in cooling the vehicle. Only radiation can dissipate the heat, making thermal management particularly difficult. Although the rover's wheels can transfer some heat into the lunar soil, this material conducts heat poorly, so the cooling effect is minimal compared to what occurs on Earth. To mitigate these thermal problems, the LTV will include radiators or other cooling systems along with insulation to maintain operational temperatures for both the vehicle systems and its crew. Lunar Outpost has formed strategic partnerships with automotive and space industry leaders like General Motors and Goodyear to improve the rover's capabilities. The LTV can be driven remotely. When not in use by NASA, the LTV will provide commercial services, enabling private companies to benefit from the LTV on the Moon's surface. Let's list a few key milestones Lunar Outpost has achieved so far. In April 2024, NASA selects Lunar Outpost for mobility solutions for the Artemis campaign. NASA has selected Lunar Outpost, Intuitive Machines and Astrolab to further develop their concepts for lunar terrain vehicles or LTVs. These vehicles are intended to aid Artemis astronauts in exploring the lunar surface and preparing a base for upcoming human missions to the Moon, with eventual ambitions towards Mars. NASA anticipates using these LTVs starting with the Artemis 5 mission. To provide context, the Artemis missions are as follows. Artemis 1, which flew uncrewed in November 2022, tested the capabilities of the SLS and Orion. Artemis 2, planned for launch in a couple of years, will take 4 astronauts on a lunar orbit without landing. Artemis 3 is set to be the landmark mission, where astronauts will land on the Moon, spending 6.5 days there before returning to Earth. Artemis 4 will involve the Lunar Gateway, a space station orbiting the Moon. By the time Artemis 5 rolls along, an LTV will already be positioned on the lunar surface for use. One note of caution here: due to the change of US administration, it's likely these plans will be upended. It's quite likely the whole Artemis mission could be changed, with the cancellation of SLS, Orion and even Gateway. NASA's strategy involves operating these LTVs as a service, with payments linked to fixed milestones, and the total funding for these awards is capped at $4.6 billion. Some of the features of the Lunar Dawn vehicle are advanced autonomous navigation and operation, with or without astronauts on board. Suitable for commercial use, the rover includes a reconfigurable cargo bed that allows for the changing of payloads with its robotic arm. Mission life is extended from days to many years as the rover can operate throughout the lunar night. In November 2024, Lunar Outpost signs with SpaceX for Starship Moon mission. Lunar Outpost signed an agreement with SpaceX to deliver the Lunar Outpost Eagle, as the LTV vehicle is named, to the moon's surface using a Starship vehicle for launch and landing. The Lunar Outpost Eagle is designed to greatly boost surface mobility on the moon, supporting both manned and unmanned missions. Lunar Outpost CEO Justin Cyrus said about this agreement, "Lunar Outpost LTV is designed to be the backbone of lunar surface operations by enabling science and exploration, building and maintaining interplanetary infrastructure, and facilitating space resource utilization. Having experienced the recent groundbreaking Starship test flight firsthand, we're confident that SpaceX is advancing the most capable launch system ever created, and will successfully land our Eagle vehicles on the surface of the moon. This contract is instrumental to accelerating Lunar Outpost's mission of enabling a sustainable human presence in space, and we look forward to working with SpaceX to make that happen." Let's move on to upcoming events. Lunar Outpost has 4 missions lined up, focusing on deploying smaller lunar rovers. Although their website mentions one mission launching this year, it's more likely scheduled for February 2025. This mission, known as IM-2, will use Intuitive Machines' Lunar Lander and feature a Lunar Outpost rover in collaboration with Nokia. The purpose is to test Wi-Fi capabilities on the moon, which is important because the Axiom spacesuits for the Artemis missions will employ 4G LTE technology for communication. The launch date for Lunar Outpost Eagle, the largest LTV, is nebulous. It depends on a lot of factors, including Lunar Outpost winning the NASA competition, progress with Starship, and the Artemis program. Given that 3 additional Artemis missions are scheduled before it, a launch before 2030 seems unlikely. Stay tuned for updates on Lunar Outpost and other space startups contributing to the Artemis missions or developing lunar infrastructure. For insights on how space startups might be affected by the potential cancellation of the SLS, you can watch my video on that subject. The video should be showing now. Be sure to like and subscribe so you will see upcoming videos. We make videos every week covering the space industry, with an emphasis on the small space startups that aren't covered so well on other channels. See you soon.